doing a Google Hangout and a Google Hangout on air. So,
okay. Hi there, everyone. My name is fransiracusa, and I'm on the line from Clearwater, Florida, in the United States. And I'm an educational technologist. And I had the privilege of meeting in person my Twitter friend here, Jennifer, at FETC, which was an EdTech conference that we went to in January. And we both found out that we are both very passionate about global projects and connecting with others and all the awesome things that the digital world has to offer students in the classroom. So I'm here to answer some questions today and maybe talk about a couple initiatives that I've been involved with, and that's it.
That would be great, friend. We'd love to hear, in particular, about the Blue Water Project, but any other things that are available, that'd be great.
Okay. Tell me what are these all teachers or?
All teachers.
All teachers. Okay.
Literally have K-12.
K through 12. Okay. Basically, we do different initiatives, but this one that we tried for this month of April because of Earth Day coming up, it's called Our Blue Earth. And basically we just knew that we wanted to do something that had to do with water and the environment, and then globally connecting teachers from across the world to do something good. And so just through different research and actually on Twitter and on the internet, I came to find out about this woman named Karishma Bagani, and she's actually a very young woman. She is from Mombasa, Kenya. She is a university student at NYU, and she's either 19 or 20, but a couple years ago during her high school science fair project, she developed a water purifier that it basically has like 5 sets of minerals and then also the container that goes over it. But she developed it to help against water scarcity that the people in the villages outside Mombasa face every day. And so this $10 water filter that she built and actually went through a lot of testing to make sure everything worked fine, it will help out a family of 5 for over 18 months. So if you can, kind of think about that, that was amazing. And then I just loved that, it was something that just interested her. She's studying mathematics and science there, and she's a woman. And I just love that, my son actually had a science project in 7th grade recently, and just to, the kids always think, oh, the science fair project is just a science fair project. It's not going anywhere. Well, here's someone who really did make a difference. So I actually contacted her on Twitter and just said, can we have a conversation? And I just listened to her story after reading about it and a couple different things, and she just told me her version, and I said, how can I help? And she said, well, there's a lot of ways to help. But I said, okay, from the aspect of teachers and students, what can students do to help? And she said, I don't really, anything. She's like, exposure would be great. If, maybe, could they, she had some ideas about funding, and I said, that's harder because, in school you don't fundraise. Maybe if it was something after school that a kid, like Alex's Lemonade or something like that, they can do it on their own. But I'm like, usually that's not the kind of thing we would do. And then, but her eventual goal is, to reach out to different companies that would be sponsors that could do something with this. And then we were just throwing around ideas like what I asked her, well, could students build these and then ship them over? But she said that they can kind of shift the minerals and everything. But she was talking about what she eventually wants to happen over there in Kenya is that people are trained, and then they'll train the people in the village, and it'll just, go from there. So train the trainer, and then lots and lots of exposure. So I said that is something I think the kids can do. And so we were talking about, I even asked my own children, what would you do? And I asked some kids today, we went to a water treatment facility, and after seeing that and just talking about them, and they were, these kids were 5th graders, what could you do to help Karishma? And actually, we're going to participate in a hangout on Friday with those guys so that they can meet her. But we're just trying to get the kids to use their voices and to see how, and come up with ideas how they think they could help. So I guess my job is to figure out, what standards it goes with, or, kind of give it a little bit more of a framework. But Jennifer had invited me because if any of you were interested in dipping your feet in your first global project, we would welcome that. So, Jennifer, what would you add?
No, I think that's fantastic.
I have one other thing that I thought was really pretty. I'm originally a Spanish teacher. I taught Spanish for 20 years, from 2 years old through high school, and even in the IB program. But the name of her project, I think it's called Mimbote de Chihuit, and it's 3 different languages, and the Mimbote de Chihuit, and one comes from Spanish, one comes from, I think, Swahili from Africa, and the other one is a word from Thai, which represents Asia. And the reason that she picked this name, and it means drops of life, was because the 3 parts of the world, Asia, Latin America, and Africa, are the ones that face water scarcity issues the most. So I just loved, you could feel the passion from when she spoke, and then it just, it touched my heart, and I just said, kids or people, I'm just trying to gather people to go ahead and do something to make a bigger difference, even if it's in a small way. So then Jennifer, I told her about the idea,
and so here we are, and we have lots of different sessions as well, and some of our high schools are interested in maybe having, but I'll talk with you about that later, but maybe on April 22nd at 11:15, if you can ask Karishma if she would like to do a Google Hangout on air with an environmental studies class, and anyone else who might be interested in talking to her and we'd really like to be able to have the kids ask her questions a little about the issue, about what they could do to help and whatnot. So we'd like to.
Right. And she's very, she loves that idea. She came to me first and asked me about that. Like, could I talk to the kids and explain it? And I said yes, they would love to hear it, straight from the horse's mouth. And, this is your project. And I think just putting the students, it will mean so much to them to see her face too, especially, if we are mostly hitting people in North America because, she looks different, she has a different accent, and they'll realize that, it's a different part of the world. So.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Does anyone have a question for Fran, either about the project or about anything else before we say thank you and goodbye? Okay. All right. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. So when I start